Okay, we're back in the tool set now, and we're going to move on to something else that we can get information on, and that is on the death of a creature. We can have some kind of information displayed. So what we're going to do to demonstrate that is we're just going to grab something simple here, and let's grab a cobalt. So what we're going to do is make a copy of this cobalt because we can't modify the built-in creatures. So we'll make ourselves a copy of this cobalt. So that's our cobalt, and let's bring over his properties. And the only thing we have to do to this cobalt is to update his on death script. Now, if we're using the Legends AI plugin, you don't have to do any of this. We don't want that. You don't have to actually change any of this if you're using it. It's all built in because the Legends AI plugin knows about all the other plugins and will act accordingly. But if you're not using it, if you're using the default or using another one, what you'll need to do is modify the on death script. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to create a copy of the default one because we're not using any other AI. So we're just going to create a copy because we don't really want to modify our built-in scripts. So we'll just call this custom death. And as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm copying and pasting everything from the original into this custom one. So now we've got an exact copy of the default on death AI. And all I'm going to do is make a slight modification to this. Execute script leg all master death object self. So oftentimes, if you're using custom systems already and you have scripts already in particular events that the Legends plugins also need to use, oftentimes all you have to do is just modify that script and add something like this to the bottom of it. Like this is the typical on death for all your creatures. You just add that to the bottom of your script. And, if all your creatures are using the same on death type script, that's all you have to do. So we're going to save that and close it. Let's get this out of the way. And that out of the way. Close and close. Alright. So we'll go back now and we'll apply that script to our Cobalt's on death event. So we'll change them from the default AI to our custom custom death. There we go. And just to make him a little bit more interesting, we're going to change him from Cobalt to Cobalt King. There. Now, let's get that out of the way. So we'll keep him selected, and now that he's selected, what we're going to do is go into our plugins and fire up the info plugin again, and this time we're going to edit a creature blueprint. So we'll edit that, and we'll give him a unique identifier. We'll say, we'll just call him Cobalt King. There's only going to be one of those, so that'll be unique enough. And the message is, the Cobalt King has been defeated. And we're going to shout that right across the server, and finish, and quit. And now we can place him either through our whatever spawning system we're using, or just laying him down, or built-in encounter system, whatever we want. But for this demonstration, we're just going to place him there. So that's it. We're going to save and fire this up and see what it looks like. Okay, so we're in game here, and there's our Cobalt, so we're going to go over and do a little bit of battle with him. Found our lovely mushroom patch again, and I'm just going to wait for the little message to go away before I fight this guy. There we go. So, there we go. Killed him pretty easily, and the Cobalt King has been defeated, and of course, we get the little message down here, the Cobalt King has been defeated, and that would have been shouted across the server, assuming, of course, we have shout enabled. And everybody in the server would get to know that the Cobalt King has been defeated. So that's another way we can use the information plugin. So let's move on to progress bars. I think we've covered the info plugin abilities quite enough, and back to the tool set we go. Okay, so we're back in the tool set again, and first thing we're going to do is just get rid of this cobalt because the next part we don't need him. And we'll look back at our little mushroom patch here. So the next piece we're going to go through is progress bars. Now progress bars are most useful when you want players interacting with placeable objects. So as we saw earlier with this mushroom here, this was a placeable object the player could interact with and come along, click on it, and it'll pop some information about how this is an odd mushroom. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually combine a progress bar with that and show how that works. So we're just going to select this guy again and fire up our plugin and go back and edit that placeable instance. And this is where we're going to use the bottom half of this window, this progress bar trigger. So as we can see before, this is the odd mushroom, and when we clicked on it, the message "this appears to be an odd mushroom" would appear for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually combine this with a progress bar. The first field here, progress bar text, this is what we're going to actually see in the progress bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the word examining here. The duration is how long the progress bar takes. So we're going to say 10 seconds. And we're not going to execute a script or do a skill check or anything like that. And we're going to leave all of that blank. Skill show, because we're not doing a skill, we don't need that. PC can move. Normally the PC can't move while they're doing that, doing a progress bar. If we only want one attempt only for skills, not needed right now, and script deactivates, not needed right now. But we are going to use the trigger's name, excuse me, in the progress bar text. So in the little progress bar, if I did not have this checked, all we would see is the word examining. But if I check this on, what'll happen is this word here, examining, will get combined with the descriptive name. So when I click on it now, it'll say examining odd mushroom. So we're going to show how that works and go back in game, finish, and save it here, and cut right back in a moment. Okay, so we're back in game, and here's our odd mushroom that we can click on. So we're going to go over here and look at it. Now, like I said before, we would click on this, we would just get an information box, but this time when we click on it, it'll be a little bit different. So as you can see, here's our progress bar, and the title, Examining Odd Mushroom. And when our progress bar finishes, then we'll get our information that we had in the information box. This appears to be an odd mushroom. So at the very basic progress bar, it's a time sink that we can have, if we want players to spend time actually examining stuff, if we had a spider web or, a little crevice or something, that we want to give some information to a player, this would actually help them spend time doing it instead of just feeding them the information for free with no time spent. So that's the most basic use of the progress bar. So we're going to go back into the tool set and look at some other uses of it. Okay, so we're back in the tool set again, and this time we're going to take our progress bar to the next level. We know that it was, it's great that we have a player come over here and spend some time examining this mushroom and get some information about it, but it would be great if we could incorporate, some more challenge to this simple little get information. So what we can do is select this mushroom again and fire up our plugin and modify placeable instance. Now this time what we're going to do is we're actually going to apply a skill check to this. So we're not going to give the PC their information unless they're successful in a skill. So we're going to change this information to be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more valuable. There appears to be a black blight underneath the mushroom top. So that seems to be a little bit more valuable information. There's some kind of black blight infesting our little mushroom patch here. So we're not just going to give that information away for free. What we're going to do is make a player do a skill check. So we can pull down our skill check, and maybe, maybe this could be some lore, or, it could be a search. What we'll do, we'll just make it a lore check for now, and we'll give it like a DC of, I don't know, 14. Make it really easy. This could be a level 1 area or something like that. And we also want to have a message show up in the event that the player fails their skill check. So we already know if they succeed, they're going to get the piece of information here. But if they fail, we're just going to say you don't notice anything special. Simple as that. So we're going to leave it at that. And actually, we're going to throw in another checkbox. If we leave it as is and we finish here and a player goes in game and examines this mushroom, they won't, and they see this, you don't notice anything special. They won't realize that they're getting a skill check performed. There's no indicator that says, hey, there's a skill check being performed here. And they may just walk away, and everybody else in the party may just leave. However, if we check this checkbox on, in their local chat dialog, they're actually going to see their skill check. They're going to see the dice roll, they're going to see the DC, and they're actually going to see the result of their skill check. And so it's a little option you can have. You can have it on or off. Sometimes it's valuable to have on, sometimes it's valuable to have off. But we're going to have it on for this demo, and then I'll show you what it looks like in game. So we're going to finish this up, save it, and have a look at what that one does now.